Well, we finally got our hands on the all-new Hoyt Carbon RX9. This is going to be their flagship hunting bow for next year. It looks like they made a lot of improvements to this thing. A whole bunch of things have changed. We're going to go over all them. We're going to speed test it, shoot it down range. I'm going to give you guys my initial feedback, and hopefully by the end of this video, it'll help you guys make a better informed decision whether or not you want to buy this for the next hunting season. First thing you're going to notice on these new bows is going to be the all-new cam system that Hoyt's come out with. So they've engineered these cams now to have a module that is draw length specific, whereas before they had a module that swung or pivoted on a couple screws where you can get a draw length adjustment from say 26 to 30 inches. Well, now you're going to get modules that are draw length specific in 3/4 of an inch draw length increments. Now what that's going to do is that's going to increase the efficiency and the speeds of these bows tremendously. This bow, for example, from its predecessor to this one, I believe at 29 inches, 70 pounds, it's gaining about 19 feet per second, which is insane when it comes to just tweaking the mods a little bit. So pretty cool on Hoyt for being able to come up with that. I'm really excited to shoot this bow because I want to see if with that increased speed that these cams are just as smooth as last year's bows, because last year's bows, the cams were really nice to shoot. So if they're able to get those speeds plus still have a really smooth drawing cam, that's definitely a 10 out of 10 in my book. So with all their flagship hunting bows, or any bows for that matter, they do have the pick sight mount on the front here, so that's nice. Also has your standard side mounts for your sight. It has the integrate dovetail option on the back here, along with your burger hole if you happen to choose a rest that mounts on the side of your bow. So all that's still good. Now before we get any further into this bow, let's go over all the specs so everybody's on the same page. So this bow is the Carbon RX9 Ultra, so it's the longer axle-to-axle bow. This happens to be 33.5 inches axle to axle. It comes in at a 340 feet per second speed rating. It has a brace height of 6 3/8 inches, and it has a mass weight of 4.3 pounds. Like we already mentioned, it has the new HBX Gen 4 cam system, and the draw length ranges from 26 inches to 31 inches, depending on which mod you use. And the let off goes from 75, 80, and 85% on these cams. So it looks like they've updated their shortstop. This is their shortstop 2.0. It's a little bit more narrow, more streamlined than the previous models. It has your threaded bushing on the front here for your stabilizer. It doesn't have any bushings on the back for a back bar. You would need to buy the Hoyt's side mount or side bracket system that attaches to this hole right here. It comes with a pick mount system, so that's pretty nice. It's pretty universal throughout all the bows now and all the pick mounted sights. Still has your standard side mount holes there if you run a sight that bolts on the side of your bow. Same with the burger button or the burger hole, still has that, along with the dovetail for your integrate system on the back here. It does come with 2 holes for your bow quiver, whether it be a 1-piece or 2-piece. You can buy attachments that mount into those holes so you can have that. It looks like they have changed the angle of their limbs here. They're a little bit more flat than they were the previous years. They were a little bit more angled up last year. They're running a 5-piece string system now. So they said it's supposed to help with tuning. Still not a really big fan of their tuning system. You can tell in previous videos, I'm a big proponent of being able to tune or shim a cam without having to use a bow press and completely take apart the system. I think Bowtech owns the market in that. And Elite's not far behind. PSE does have their EZ220 system. So Matthews and Hoyt, I think that's probably going to be the next thing that the engineers work on to really knock out of the park. So this bow comes preset from the factory at 29 inches, which I checked, and it is. We're going to set up the Garmin. I want to shoot a 350 grain arrow, 29 inch, 70 pounds. See how fast it's shooting. I don't really care about the IBO. It just seems to be the most common size and weight. We'll double check this, see how close we are to 70 pounds from the factory. We got a digital scale. Like I said, we'll check the speed, and then I'll probably give it about 5 to 10 shots down range, really get a feel for this bow, let you guys know how the draw cycle feels, how the grip feels, basically how the shot is. First up, we gotta check the speed. No, we gotta check the poundage. Scratch that, reverse, like Willy Wonka. You ever see Willy Wonka? This is gonna be the first time pull this bow back. All right, zeroed out. I don't know if you can see that. $69.4. We have a 350 grain arrow, 29 inch, 70 pounds. Let's just see what it gives us. 331. We're gonna do one more shot with the 350 grain arrow, just for funsies. I'm actually super impressed with the draw cycle. A very small hump at the end, very small, which is nice. .328.9, so right around that 330 mark. We're gonna shoot a few arrows to kind of get a better feel for how this bow performs. Judging by how it shot, checking the speed, I'm actually gonna say that I'm a big fan of it already. But we'll shoot 4 shots here. Kind of let you guys know what I'm feeling. It's a really nice back wall, which is Cam offers 2 options, extra hard back wall and a regular back wall. It looks like I'm on the extra hard, so that's probably why it feels so good. The draw cycle, it's a little rigid in the beginning, but nothing out of the ordinary by any means. You shoot enough bows, you kind of have to preload enough anyways to get it to draw back. Like I said, there's just right there, it's that little tiny valley. It's very small compared to most bows. It does sound a little loud to me, but I think it's just because we're in a shooting range. The sound is bouncing off the walls. I'm curious to see what this would sound like outside. Probably wouldn't be as bad. No jump in the hand. No hand shock. Obviously, you're really not going to get any with a carbon bow. I mean, typically you don't. But grip is actually really comfortable. And I'm super picky with my grips too. I really prefer the ones that have a narrower but flat backside to it. And this one is a little bit more rounded, but I think just the way that it's shaped, it fits my hand really well. I really like the string angle of this bow too, being 33.5. Fits really well. Doesn't feel awkward. Well, it's a shooter, that's for sure, and it's fast. I'm curious to see how this thing would shoot in our field test video when we have this thing decked out with a rest that's tuned, sights on there, quiver, stabilizers, gets a little bit more weight on there. I think this thing is going to be really fun to shoot. Now, as I mentioned previously, the cam system is completely redesigned. They have these new draw length specific mods, so you'll see that there are 4 screw holes here for your adjustments. This will give you 1/4 inch draw length adjustments up to 3/4 of an inch difference. So something to keep in mind. It is very user friendly when it comes to that. It's where you're getting a lot of your efficiency from. This bow retails at $2,050, give or take. For that price, I do think it's a good price. I mean, you get what you pay for when it comes to this bow. There's a lot of features on this thing. The only thing I would knock it on is the ease of tunability. It's not very user friendly. There's a lot to do to shim the cams on this. They do have the option with their new string system that you can adjust slightly cam lean with the yoke. So there's that, but if you have to make any major adjustments, you do have to take apart the axles, the shims, or the cams, and take everything out and reshim it. This is an awesome shooting bow. I highly recommend you guys checking it out. Make sure you go to your local pro shop, test shoot these, let us know what you think in the comments. Big shout out to Brett here at Willow Creek Archery in Temecula, California. If you guys are ever in Southern California and have archery needs, make sure you come in here. He will help you out just like he helps us out. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one.